Okay, hello friends. Hi. It's been a little bit. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome in, Exa, Terrific. Thanks for the follow, Maddie. Thanks for the follow, Exa. Not the one. Rowan, Biddy. Appreciate you guys. Welcome in, guys. It's been an awesome last couple of weeks, but it's been really cool to I can't wait to introduce you our next guest, really. First off, we're name twins. My name is Helena. Yeah, I don't know, I think that's pretty dang cool. So I'm the director of operations for Glass Factory, if you don't know who I am. And yeah, I'm going to be bringing Helena Mayer on, but I'm going to tell you their bio first and tell you a little bit about them. And then we'll introduce them. But if you're not if you're a part of my stream, my everything, go follow Helena Mayer really quick. If you are not already, I'm gonna do a shout out in chat. Hi, Robin. Yeah. Oh, it looks like it blocked your link. Your link blocked me. You had the links turned off. Did you guys see that link? Well, we are sharing chat. Oh, that's silly. But yeah. Right. But yeah, so let me give the little bio really quick, and I'll put Helena back in here. It's so weird saying my own name. Helena Mayer is a singer-songwriter born in Thousand Oaks, California. Her songs invite listeners into a space of vulnerability and connection, offering both comfort and inspiration. Known for her soulful memories and introspective lyrics, Helena's music resonates with audiences seeking depth and authenticity. Whether performing live or recording in the studio, she creates an immersive experience, blending emotional honesty with a rich melodic sound. But yeah, I did the shout out. Go follow if you haven't already. If you guys couldn't find the link, which you probably couldn't, I also have links turned off in chat, so we might just be fighting, our Nightbots might be fighting each other for the whole stream. So yeah, but yeah, let me introduce Helena really quick. Hello, you're here, you're on.
Hello. We're here. Okay,
you.
I don't know if your sound is.
Your sound
Actually,
working?
your sound might not be on my chat.
Oh.
It's working for me.
Okay.
But let me know, guys. Let me know, chat, if you can hear Helena. That's also strange.
Hello. Yeah. I don't think I've said my own name aloud other than like when I'm introducing myself, and then I'm also thinking, yeah, I don't know. Have you?
Yeah,
Did you know another Helena before today? Like in person?
I did once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, super randomly. So I had somebody in oh yay, let's go. So yeah, I had somebody in my 8th grade class named Helena for like 1 year. And it was the strangest experience because she was there for 1 year and then dipped. And I had people who asked, because she started dating this guy. And everyone's like, Helena, when did you start dating this guy? I was like, it's not me. And then people, like, then she just left. So I'm like, for all I know, people could think I have this entire other history that I just don't. So
wow.
it's just really interesting.
Yeah, that's so you could have like totally just said yes and done the whole yes and improvisation and went with it if you wanted to. You could have been dating this guy this whole time.
Yep. This whole time.
We
never broke up, I guess. And I'm married, so that's confusing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, like, just speaking on the name twin thing for a second, do you know why your family named you Helena? Because it's a unique name. We both know it's a unique name.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to hear your story too. But for me, so my mom, she basically attributes a lot of her success and just her kindness and all of that really to her grandma. Her grandma was a really influential person in her life. And so, yeah, so her name was Helen. And so my name was initially going to be Helen, but it was my grandma herself who stopped my mom and just said, listen, Helen is an old lady name. Please do not name her Helen. And so then, from there, they're like, okay, fine. So then they took the A from my other grandma on my dad's side. Her name was Helga. They're very German. So I took the A and like just liked how Helena sounded better than Helena or any of the others. So yeah, that's how I came to be.
That's a cool like name origin story, because mine, I was just named after, I don't know if you know the 90s, I think it's Victoria's Secret model, Helena Christensen.
Oh.
Yeah, that's who I was named after. That's it. That's all I got. They thought it sounded cool.
I love that. I love that for you.
Supermodel vibes.
That's a win in my book. Yeah. I mean, could be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, of course it could be.
Quiet on my finger.
Okay.
You never know.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's
it.
interesting. But I noticed though, like I'm a little emo kid, but I noticed that recently, since the rise of emo culture again, have people been asking you like, oh, it's Helena, like Helena is in My Chemical Romance, that My Chemical Romance song?
Yes.
Yeah. That all of a sudden started happening, and I'm like,
time.
This is weird. And if people know who My Chemical Romance is now, like what?
I'm like, since when?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that, or I still get Helen of Troy every now and again.
Yes, same.
And then I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah,
so
I get them.
I'm like,
Helena Montana as well.
Yeah.
Or Kalina.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People think it's Kalina.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I've gotten that one a few times.
I usually get Helena. I get Helena. I get. Once I really tried to overemphasize the H, and I got Kalena, and I'm like, maybe I'll just stick with Elena. That's fine for me. It's okay.
Yeah, I for a while I went with the nickname Lena because I was like, it's just easier.
Yeah,
it's just easier.
Mm-hmm.
And then it backfired because my now husband is like, that didn't work.
Nice try.
Yeah,
nice try, but no, my mother-in-law's name is Lena.
Really?
So I can't, and that's like her full name. Yeah.
Oh.
So I can't do that anymore. I tried. I was like, maybe when I'm an aunt, like, because I'm married with some like nieces and nephews and all that, and so I'm like, maybe because Helena's hard to say, so I was like, I would in my head I would have just done Lena or something like that, but that's my mother-in-law's name.
Yeah.
So there goes that out the window.
Yeah, I don't know what other nickname we could do. Ina.
Hell.
I mean, we could raise hell all day.
Make a fight. You try.
What coffee are you drinking? What tea are you drinking today?
I'm not sure. I'm drinking. Okay, this is first of all a very massive mug because it's a very massive coffee kind of a day, but it's an Earl Grey that I but I had some creamer that I tried for the first time. It's like a dairy-free kind of collagen creamer, and it's actually pretty good.
What's the base?
What's your coffee price?
Is it plant-based?
I think so.
Do you know which one?
It says plant-based.
Like, is it
oat? I just got it on Grocery Outlet.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious.
No. Yeah, I have no clue. I have zero clue. I can go finding and tell you, but it's. I mean, this is just Earl Grey, which is nice.
Earl Grey is a classic. You can't go wrong with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, once I start talking about mine, yeah. But once I start talking about mine, I'm not gonna be able to stop.
Oh, is it? But I want to know. I'm curious.
So
I'm curious. Helena drink of choice, you know?
Yeah. So I have an espresso machine. I saved up for that bad boy, and I drink out of that every day. I pull my own shots. I got specialized coffee training in Seattle when I was living there.
Oh, yeah. Seattle of all places. That's when you know. That's when you know the real deal.
Yeah. So pretty much I will go with like a nice light roast. Right now I'm obsessed with the Ethiopia Gujis. Super excited about those. They're just like really rich, vibrant, fruity. It tastes like having a little bit of a tea, but stronger. So yeah. Oh. Yeah. It doesn't really have any bitterness to it. It's just one of my favorite things about coffee.
Yeah. That's actually That's tempting.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get into it, I could get
yeah.
into like all the good coffee recommendations. You give me a budget, I'll
Oh,
set you up.
I'll s- my husband is a massive coffee drinker. He
Mm,
absolutely loves it, and so this may be something I may do just for his sake. Like, guess what? I know all these coffee things just for
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to hit me up in
Including
the
some
chat.
Bitcoin.
Like, totally
Dude,
down
I
to share
will.
that. But yeah, I'm really happy with like my drink of choice. I discovered it pretty much just like from pulling shots all the time, and I just kept going
Oh,
to the
let's go.
classic latte. I would have espresso,
Mm,
just to like taste and make sure everything tasted well. But the coffee for myself that I'd make for
right.
my day would be a latte every time. So,
I
yeah.
love it. That's so good.
Are we
What
sure
good
that this
things.
isn't just one person talking to herself? Are we
No.
sure?
I don't know for
I
sure.
don't
I
know for
think we're the
sure.
same. It
Yeah.
sounds like we got the same name.
We have the
So
same name.
that's step one.
I think it might be more of like a
Hmm.
doppelganger situation because your name is with an E and mine is with an A.
Yeah.
I think it might be
Yeah, like alter ego,
doppelgangers.
maybe.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
there some like
I can
butterfly
see that.
effect to that? Meeting a doppelganger in person? Well, we're not in person, so maybe we should just not meet in
That's true.
person.
Yeah, we'll just be online forever. That sounds like the call. That sounds
Yeah.
like the move.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Done deal. Done deal. We are online friends and online friends only.
Done. Set.
Cool. Well, I mean, like as far as the interview itself goes, we could keep going on these derails, but I do want to ask you. We were just talking about origin stories with the name, but what is your origin story as a person? Would you consider yourself kind of like a
Oh.
hero or a villain in your own tale? Or
Oh,
what
that's
do
a
you
good
think?
question. Well, I do self-declare as a villain in one of my songs,
Mm.
but that's not really the point of it. So I I was I was born like no, I'm just kidding. But I was actually there were multiple times throughout the course of my life where I should have died but I didn't. So that's kind of cool that I didn't. Um but yeah, so I was yeah, so those are crazy stories, but that's like a long story.
Feel free to
Long
get
story
into any
short,
of those.
we will. I can. So I will. So basically, the first time around, the doctor was leaving the practice, and so I was born early. I was supposed to be born in January, but I was born end of December. This was a little December Capricorn baby, and they were when they went and did all like the final testing and everything. They're like, oh my gosh, she has the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck twice, so it had to be more of an emergency. So if the doctor hadn't
Wow.
left the practice, they wouldn't have considered going through all that testing. I would have dropped and I would have basically choked and died.
Wow.
So that's crazy.
I've heard of
Yeah.
it once, but
So then
not
I was
twice.
considered twice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I was purple. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was a couple weeks early. So yeah, I wouldn't have survived if I had dropped. So um oh sorry, Foz. This is Helena.
Hi, Foz.
Wait. Is that right?
Yeah.
um Foz is like, I need to know. So yeah, so that was the first, and then second time around is much crazier story. So I when I was like, I feel like my 3-year-old experience was more exciting than any of my experiences since then. Oh X. Sorry. X is like, I sent a link and it's like, nah. So um anyway, so yeah, so 3, I was actually in a music video when I was 3. So that was my start of my music
Oh.
career a little bit. I was in a music video with my mom and actually knocked her tooth out during that whole interaction, which is crazy,
Gosh.
but we're good now. um yeah, so then they found like a little bump on the side of my face and they're like, this isn't great. Like they waited for it a little bit, took me to the doctor. The doctor like kind of took a black Sharpie, put a circle around. They're like, okay, if it gets past this point, like let us know. And in a matter of weeks, it like not only grew, it was like the size of a pea to like turn into
Wow.
the size of a quarter and turn black. And so went to the doctor and the doctor was like, okay, so this is a 50-50 chance of malignancy. We're going to have to immediately go in and like get her scheduled. We're going to have to go in and damage the nerve. And so the odds of this are that will have to, like, her face will probably droop. She'll never be able to smile.
Wow.
There's all these things, which, like, as the mother of a 3-year-old, that's not me, but as my mother was the mother of a 3-year-old at the time, it was a lot to hear, like, just really. So it feels like more her story than mine, because I was 3. I remember a bump, and then I remember a line, and that was about the extent of it. So, anyway, so then long story short, yeah, there's just a lot of little things like that kept happening. So I had croup as a kid, and so because I had croup, the anesthesiologist who was new at the hospital was like, "Hey, so did she have any croup or anything like that as a child?" And like, "Actually, yeah, she did." And they're like, "Why didn't you tell us?" And she's like, "You never asked. Like, how was I supposed to know to tell you this?" And they're like, "This not only increases her chances of not coming out of the anesthesia, like it almost doubles the
Wow.
likelihood that she's not going to get out." And so, yeah, so she's like, already, because she's so young, that's a danger. But now we've like much more increased that chance. And like, just make sure that because she wanted to sing, my mom wanted to sing me to sleep. And she's like, "Okay, well, if you do that, then make sure your voice isn't strained or anything, because she'll sense the tension and it'll increase her chances even more." Like, it was just all these different things. It was, again, like, as a mother of a 3-year-old, you're like, my goodness. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so then day of the surgery comes around, and there's lots of prayer, lots of talking, lots of like hanging out in the waiting room, and the doctors come out, and they're like, I have no way of really explaining this aside from it being a miracle. Like, not only did the tumor shrink, but it came off the nerve. So we were just able to scoop it out, and she's awake and she's crying for you. And so,
Wow.
yeah, so it's just, yeah, but my mom had to reach a point where she was like, she had to be willing to let me go, which I feel like I
That's
could
tough.
never imagine, nor would I ever want to. Yeah. So those were the 2 times where I like really, I don't know what it was. Like, younger in my life, there was something that was like, nah, she can't be here. But,
Yeah.
there were other plans. So, yeah. So it's just it was a very interesting, like, I felt like I was told a lot as a kid that I was this miracle child because I should have died and all these things. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like,
Yeah.
but, little chip on the shoulder,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm here for a reason. Someone fought for me,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's been, trying to think, like, my origin story, where I really, when I started school and all of that, I am a massive book nerd. I love books. I love Star Wars. And I feel like that really started to cultivate during that time. And ended up basically majoring in books and in music. So I was a great texts humanities major as well as a music major in college. And then that really like catapulted a lot of my songwriting as well. So in college, I met my producer, who I work with now pretty exclusively, and he's amazing. And then, yeah, it just really felt like as a kid, I always loved to sing. That was my thing. I wanted to be a singer from a young age on. Like, I feel like my siblings, I'm one of 3 kids, so I'm the middle child. So middle child syndrome is strong with me. And all of my siblings are just amazing. We're still really close. I adore them. But they kind of had these like different things that they wanted to do on and off throughout their lives. And they've actually landed kind of where they started, which is funny.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
yeah, so which is cool. And they're thriving. They're living their best
Good. Glad to
lives.
hear that.
I love them. But they kind of would fluctuate. And for me, it was like always from a kid. I was like, yes, this is what I want. I want to be a singer. That's what I want to do. Want to be a singer. Any chance I got, I took to the stage. I was like, this is me,
Fun.
And then, yeah, which is a lot of fun. But I didn't really take it seriously until I'd say probably end of high school. Because I had a stint where I was like, I want to do musical theater. And then I didn't like the politics. So then, of course, I switched to music because that's a lot better. If we're being honest. But yeah, so that's kind of where it just then boiled into where I am now, which is I love writing, and I love writing about things that matter, and I love sharing things that matter. That's why I think Twitch has been such a valuable thing. I feel like the community that's present on my channel, which I fan. But I feel like they really help cultivate too that culture of just being able to talk about things that matter and being able to dive into those types of things, and having a space to be honest if something doesn't sound good. You know, it's like, hey, maybe don't try that. But also just like having the freedom to really talk through stuff and the ups and the downs of life, and being able to put that into music and have people resonate with that is such a beautiful thing. So yeah, I kind of went all over the place, but I feel like I'm sure I missed stuff, but that's basically the bird's eye view.
I feel like that's a good origin story. Honestly, it just makes you seem like you're the hero, because you started off with like this early onset like hardships, and then you're like, yeah, I could do this, I'm special. And I think a lot of like main characters in books, you know, start off like that. I'm sure that they have like their humblings and their growth along the way, like they usually do, but you know, like I think that relates to like more of the hero of the story. But I think even heroes have their own villain arc. So what would you think like would be a villain arc that you would express or have?
I had a Taylor Swift era. I don't know if I wouldn't call her a villain necessarily, but I went through a period of time where I was just in some pretty not helpful relationships for me, which I feel like for a long time you can really hit a point where you're like, wow, it's all their faults, they sucked. And maybe they did, but I think at the same time there was still this like I made the decision to step into those, you know, and I made the decision to stay in them for as long as I did. And so I reached a point where I was like, okay, I feel like I haven't been able to really explore how I felt during those seasons of my life. And there was a period of time where I'm like, okay, I was actually engaged at the time, and my husband's so supportive, he's the best, but he just let me. He was like, I mean, not that, I guess let me is not the right term.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Supported.
But yeah, he was really supportive of just this journey where I'm like, okay, I really feel like I need to discover who I was and what I learned. In order to do that, like, some people aren't going to look great, but that's not the biggest point of it. You know, I'm not doing this to drag people's names through the mud. It was more, I feel like I learned something about myself. And if anyone else was in those situations, like, it's an important thing for me to then talk about, because I didn't realize it was something that wasn't good for me until I heard other examples of that. And I could kind of outside of myself be like, oh shoot, like that's bad what's happening to them. And that sounds really, really similar to what's happening to me. So yeah. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. So you think it like helped you grow and everything, like you were saying? Yeah.
And I think it gave me permission to be honest about the areas of my life. And I don't think that means to talk bad about anybody necessarily, but it is like, I'd rather, if what I went through gives me the opportunity to then move into a different direction and to grow, then maybe my story can help somebody else as well realize that they're not in a healthy environment and like get out of it. So yeah.
Breaking past those barriers, setting healthy boundaries, keeping those healthy boundaries, so on. Yeah. I see you, Foz.
Yeah, definitely. Your vocal's still not showing on my OBS, so I'm like, maybe you're not. But Miko said you were fine.
Do it. Yeah, we could do a check. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, Foz, is it?
It's like very quiet. Okay.
It's just very quiet. Okay, hold on. How about now? Well, now she's taking a sip, so that was a great time.
Hello. To say testing. Yeah. So Nick, we're talking about on Helena's stream, not Helena's stream. Not confusing.
Wrong one.
Wrong one.
I know, right?
Yeah. So on the Glass Factory stream, you should be good if you're listening. Okay. Cool. So
which one?
Yeah. But yeah, you did say you had your Taylor Swift era, and I needed to like butcher a joke really quick. Not a villain, not a hero, but are you an anti-hero?
Oh, sometimes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm a full hero all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it just, the hero mentality, like I'm gonna nerd out for a second. So I love the Clone Wars. I think that's one of the best things to come out of Star Wars.
Like the TV series?
And
yeah, I watched that when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yes, it's so good. And I think I realized that yeah, I think from that, like seeing Anakin specifically and seeing his arc, he really was this like, he was told he was the hero. He was told he was, you know, whatever it is. And it just was not good for him.
No.
Like he was not, it wasn't the best thing for him at all. And so because of those things, like it was just this, it got to his head. And so I feel like there's a level of, and I was talking to one of my mods about this today, but I'm also listening to a podcast about different dictators. And it's interesting to see how quickly someone's rise to just not good things can happen so quickly. And like similar to, you know, Anakin to Darth Vader. Sorry if it's a spoil, but it's been out for forever. But you know, I don't know. It's a good reminder that even heroes can become villains. And so to really see more of a perspective of, as long as I take the next right step and that's what I continue to do, then I'll be fine. But if I think that I'm in the clear simply because I'm this hero, you know, then it could easily turn into something else. So yeah. That's my take.
I think it's interesting that you mentioned Anakin too, because like if you haven't watched the Clone Wars series, that like Cartoon Network brief one you're talking about, that was like, well, it wasn't that brief. It went on for years. Like, but I feel like not a lot of people watched it. Yeah.
It's so good.
It was really good.
Mad. I'm like,
yeah.
I haven't.
But it added so much complexity to the character. And it made me really, really like the third movie, like a lot more than I already did. And then the first two are all right. I liked the second one as an adult a lot more than I liked it as a kid. But like, I don't know. The third one is so much better, like having all that context. And I don't know. I think some people thought that Ahsoka was kind of annoying, but it was interesting that he had a Padawan for a while, you know?
Yeah. That was interesting.
Yeah. And I think that was an interesting choice for George Lucas, especially since that was the last project he worked on before he retired. So like, that was his love. Right. That was his true love. Like, I honestly think that he really liked that more than anything else. And I don't think it got the love it deserved. Right.
Yeah. It's such a good show. And I think it actually is his best. I think it's his best storytelling. Because what I say, I'm kind of, yeah. I believe that the storytelling in Star Wars, like the big picture stuff's really good, but the nitty gritty was just not, it just wasn't quite where, it wasn't the best. And so to see something like Clone Wars and to have George Lucas, who has these great big ideas, paired with people who are a lot better at kind of putting it into the details, really helped put together episode 2 and episode 3 of Star Wars. Like I liked those episodes and those movies simply because you could see the transition that Anakin had. Otherwise it felt way too quick. And so to see that progression of it and to have George Lucas actually working with people who can make that happen, I think made all the difference. And that's why I liked the series.
Yeah. And then I also liked the last one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then the relationship with Anakin and Obi-Wan also got like way more complex as well. It started like making more sense why he made the choices that he did, you know, especially leading up to the last episodes. Like the last episodes were so good. It's been a while since I watched them all, though.
It's so good. Yeah, it's been a minute. I think I need to rewatch them. I think Rogue One is still the best one.
Really?
But I think it's one of the best because it's just the storytelling is really good, and you don't have the nostalgia of the other ones. So you can kind of there's just a difference there.
I can't help but compare, especially since George Lucas isn't involved. So,
I love Rogue One. I think it's so good. I think Episode 5 is probably my favorite out of all of them, of like the ones that George Lucas was a part of. I just pretend 7, 8, and 9 don't exist. So which I think most people do.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think we kind of have to.
I'm not the only one.
I think we kind of have to just like enjoy things more.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like there should be a petition to make it a legend. I don't know. It doesn't. Let's not make it the story. it was just not. It wasn't it.
Yeah,
It
kind
wasn't
of like
it.
that Christmas special. Did you ever watch that?
I don't think so.
You should. He tried, like, George Lucas
Hmm.
has tried to make it not exist. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I love that. I need to.
There's like, it's mostly about Chewbacca and his family, and it's really, really disturbing.
Oh.
I'm not gonna go into it. I won't
I love
spoil
that.
it, but it's really bad, and you should watch it.
I'm very interested in this. I'm very interested.
Yeah,
in
it's a
this.
Star
I
Wars
feel
Christmas
like
special. Where do you find it? I
probably
think you can
Disney
find
Plus,
it on
right?
YouTube. No, it's not going to be on Disney Plus. He wants that to not exist.
Oh, really?
So it's probably on YouTube or somewhere on Reddit, you know?
I love that so much. This is the wrong cup.
Um,
Was it an experience?
Yeah.
I want to watch this so bad.
You need to watch it.
now.
It's so bad. One of my friends made like a spoof song off of it for her cabaret show, and
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh gosh, I have to watch this show.
I'm so fascinated.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link. My husband actually hunted it down for me.
Let's go! I'm freaking so stoked about this. How long is it? Wait, I need to watch this.
It's an hour and a half.
Let's go! I just don't feel like George Lucas's best gifts were screenwriting.
No.
I think he's a phenomenal. Like he can tell a story that is so different and crazy and wonderful, and have people freaked out. You know that the Vader is Anakin, and you know all those different things, and it's amazing. Like he's so good at that. But then the same guy who's phenomenal at the storytelling just talks about how sand is coarse and gets everywhere, and that's his way of responding to love.
But also, he makes a valid point. It's true.
Why is this a scene? Or there's a couple that I'm like, I don't know how this made it and what made this a classic all of a sudden. I am saying this as a massive fan. Like there was one where my biggest qualm is just that, and I think Clone Wars really helps balance this out. But it's from episode 2 to episode 3 where I've said this on stream so many times, but he's so upset at the corruption of the Jedi, like so upset. It's this whole thing that's like the big course of why he talks to Palpatine in the first place and does all these different things. And Mace Windu turns out to be corrupt, you know, and he's not really following what he says the Jedi are supposed to follow.
Right.
So then he's like, all right. And then out of self-defense, you know, and protection of his like friend and master, he kills Mace Windu. Again, this has been out for forever, so spoilers are fine.
Yeah.
But then his response to that is like, all right, the Jedi are corrupt. I can't trust the Jedi anymore. My first course of action, now that I know that the Jedi are corrupt, is to kill all the children. Like I don't know
why he went that way.
It does not go. It doesn't go. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. I never will. And it is what it is. But I think he went from like 40, because he wasn't at a 0, you know, he's like 40 to then just like 150. I'm like, you took it out on the younglings. Let's just talk about this.
Yeah, and it's kind of like they were trying to find a quick plot reason to make people hate him like they did with Darth Vader. And they're like, oh, we made him too complex. Whoops, we got to make sure everybody hates him.
Yeah, I'm like, what just happened? And then to have it kind of correlate with season 7 of the Clone Wars, which the whole subplot with Ahsoka was dumb before that. But the last couple episodes, I think, are some of the best episodes I've seen in the show. And because it was just so well and like aligned with episode 3.
Yeah.
And it was just so well put together that I'm like, oh, Anakin's craziness actually kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like I could see this now. Like I can kind of see it, and I didn't see it before. So, yeah, it was whatever.
I agree with that.
Whatever.
I feel like we could easily talk about Star Wars this entire stream, which I am totally cool
Yeah, I'm
with.
fine with that.
But I also want to take a second to thank Foz for the sub. Appreciate you for hopping in. And thank you for the follow as well. Everybody, oh my goodness, thank you for the follows. I am trying not to be bad at like whenever I have a guest, I always ignore chat, so feel free to yell at me if you want to be heard. The children had it coming. No, they did not. They did not.
Did not.
No.
I do think it would have been so much cooler, which they ended up using this for another thing, and I just think they wasted it. But for 7 through 9 to have the villain be one of the children that survived would have been insane. I think that would have been
so cool.
A much better villain. Yeah, and he's like just trying to revive Palpatine or whatever it is, or like, you know what I mean? Like rather than it just
like
it was in the whole time. I'm like, come on. So I think there was so much they could have done with that they realized after the fact and then tried to put it in different shows. But it's fine. Whatever.
But it was also before like being an anti-hero was like easy to market and sell. So it was probably really hard to like script something like that and be like, okay, but he needs to be a bad guy and he needs to be a simple bad guy. Right?
You could kind of have him make sense too. You know, like having this, because I feel like an anti-hero for some of it, you have those villains who are just so clearly bad, you know, like Darth Vader at the beginning, clearly bad, you know, Palpatine, clearly bad. But to have someone that's like, oh, I understand why you made this decision. And then kind of wrestle with that in and of yourself of like, they shouldn't have done this, but also everyone betrayed them. So I can kind of see their logic, but also like, you know, so I feel like I could see that kind of mental, you know, I could see that happen in that way. That could really help it out. But yeah, I don't know.
That's what fanfics are for. Right?
True.
Well, I mean, maybe that's what they're supposed to be.
Yeah. You're so right, though, with anti-heroes, because, I mean, Wicked's huge right now.
Yeah.
Because you have Alphaba, you have all of the, like, villains' perspectives coming out with Disney, and those, I think, are doing a lot better than
all of the Marvel movies right now.
Old ones. Yeah, it's like Loki, everyone freaking loves.
Yeah.
Loki, like, that's a win.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, you can see those things. Yeah. And you kind of just forget the fact then that Loki committed mass murder. You're like, nah, it's fun. Like, he's funny. And it's not great. I don't think that's great for us. But I also love Loki. So I'm confused myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, doesn't it kind of go into, like, I don't know. I don't know too much about, like, human psychology, but there's got to be something human psychology related to that. And giving in to our deepest urges and all that. Somebody's got some study on that and some thesis on that in their college resumes and stuff. Someone.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Oh, well. What can you do? What can you do? It's like, well, at least they're not, like, super bad. And then, oh, actually, you do have those documentaries now. So maybe I don't know. Well, I can't even say that.
Nope. Somebody's got to ruin everything. Bad people got to be bad, right?
I know, right? But why do we got to obsess over them?
I know. But yeah, so going back to somewhat of a script here. Who inspired you as a musician, and what were the songs you practiced when you learned how to play?
Ooh. I think the first song I ever learned on guitar was, which is funny because I didn't see Twilight for the first time until like a year ago, but was It Will Rain by Bruno Mars. It was like the first song I learned. But as a kid, I'm trying to think. When I really started looking into music, that's such a good question. I feel like I've always appreciated Ariana Grande. Like, I really liked Greedy when it came out. That was a good song.
Yeah.
And, like, that was Dangerous Woman, like, that era, which I thought was really good. I was a big fan of the Civil Wars at the time.
Same.
When they were a thing. And I loved Joy Williams before that. And
Yep.
I haven't listened to her much after that, but I really was a huge Joy Williams fan. I was a big, like, my family, we have a religious background, so it was a lot of like Casting Crowns and Mercy Me and like Skillet. I freaking
Oh my
loved
gosh, Skillet.
That was like my jam. Yes.
Also grew up in a religious family.
The lady drummer, I don't even know her name. I was so obsessed. I thought she was so cool. I'm like, she's hitting these crazy drum lines and is still singing like these crazy songs.
Kelly
and
Cooper, right?
It was such a win. So
wait, no, Kelly does the bass.
Yeah.
Or guitar. Oh gosh,
No,
I should
wait.
know. Wait.
Kelly was the one married to the lead singer, right?
Yeah. Still is.
Hold on.
They have been for like, oh, Jen Ledger. Jen Ledger. Yeah, she has her own project now.
Yeah, Corey Cooper was married. It was Corey and John.
Yeah.
Right?
30 years.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
So, Jen Ledger. Yeah. So she was phenomenal. But then when I started going more into like the pop world, because that's really where I landed, I would say I really loved like Bozzy. Bozzy back in his what was the album? It was Conversations with Myself. No, wait, what's it actually? Soul Searching. That's the name of the album. I thought that was such a good album. I was a massive Penny and Sparrow fan, so I loved their lyrics. I think I really gravitated towards lyrics and depth in lyrics.
It's hard not to when you're a writer.
Yeah, so it was. Yeah, right. So I really Penny and Sparrow was amazing. I loved how they wrote. I loved how they engaged. And then I really loved. I'm trying to think. I think When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go from Billy was really fascinating to me because I also think I love, even if I don't necessarily agree with some of the lyrics of songs, I really gravitate towards just good intentional lyrics. And even if I disagree, I'm like, this is fascinating. Like I love dissecting it.
Yeah.
And
the
so
production
a lot of
behind
her
it
stuff,
too.
I'm like, yeah. And she was it was just so different and so fun. And like to be able to use both lyrics and the production as a way of telling a story. Because I think some people they think it's one or the other, where it's like you either have really strong production or you have really strong lyrics.
Yeah.
And to have them kind of coincide with each other in the way that Billy and Phineas did it was really cool. And then I also really loved, I started really loving Noah Kahan back in like 2018, 2019.
Oh, original fan, I see.
It's honestly a badge I wear so proudly. But I loved him because similarly, like it was just his lyrics really, I was so just so pulled into the lyric because it was this storytelling that was still able to really talk through things that were going on in his life. Like he talked about his depression. He talked about what was the song? Young Blood, I think was the first one I heard. I heard it, I think it was my freshman or sophomore year of college. And it was just so beautifully sung and talked about. And I saw him live and JP Sax opened for him, which is another songwriter that I absolutely adore. And so it was just this cool like combo. So them, speaking of JP Sax, hard rip, but Julia Michaels as well. Like I really loved her writing. And really gravitated towards that. So I think it was just a lot of lyricists specifically who were able to actually also create something fun, but have really the emphasis be what they're talking about and why they're talking about it over just how do I make something that sounds cool over a beat? Like that just wasn't really where I landed. So to have that was really cool.
Cool. Yeah. No, thank you for sharing all that because it's interesting to see where people start. And it usually is like, of course, listening influences, but you know, I think it's a pretty straightforward question. You learn a lot from that and who that person is based on who they listen to, you know?
Yeah.
So very cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I love it.
Sorry, I still have a little bit of a cough, so I might go on mute for a second because I don't want you guys hearing that.
Oh, you're all good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So what brought you into streaming though? Because we talk a little bit about your music. What brought you into streaming?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So my producer ended up working with somebody who was a streamer, and she was talking to him about it all. And I realized, or he talked to me at the next session, and he's like, "Hey, I feel like you do really well on Twitch." And I was like, "Interesting. I have no idea what that is, other than just gaming," which is what I hear all the time. They're
Right.
like, "Oh, isn't it like that gaming site?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, but also there is more." Okay. So yeah, so then I looked into it and I started streaming within a month of finding its existence, and just happened to be in like a beautiful little slice of the internet that was all
Yeah.
music related, and got connected to some really wonderful streamers who helped me out, and felt confident enough to start streaming. And that was almost 4 years ago at this point.
Oh,
4
wow.
years, 3.5 years, I guess.
So you
Yeah,
started right around
super
COVID,
crazy.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I started because I started touring and like doing shows and things like that right before COVID hit. So
Mm-hmm.
great timing for that for me. And I still wanted to find a way to be present and to write and to, have a community of people around music. And so, yeah, that was how I did it. And I almost prefer it now. Like I love doing live shows still, and I still want to do a lot more live shows, but I don't know, there's just something really intimate and sweet about having a community of people in this little slice of the internet, and just being able to kind of test things, and be
Mm-hmm.
a little bit less uniform and have it be okay.
Yeah.
So,
I always
yeah.
personally enjoy the intimacy that having some kind of environment like this, and it's also way more laid back. So like YouTube, but hi YouTube, we're on YouTube by the way if you guys want to check us out. But yeah, YouTube, I'm gonna talk shit. So yeah, YouTube's just too much for too. YouTube is just too formal in some ways, and I do like YouTube. It has like its purpose and its place, but with Twitch, you can interact with people in ways that was never really possible before. Like, I think I think other platforms have just tried it and they haven't really been able to do it, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one
Yeah,
of the
I
few
agree.
wholesome communities on this side of the internet. Yeah, totally. Totally. I agree with you, Kevin. Oh yeah, so you finally
Yeah,
saw
it is.
JP Sachs. So how long were you trying to see JP Sachs?
I actually didn't mean to see him. That's what's so funny is
Oh,
I went to see Noah Khan. I
yeah.
went to, and so this was like 2019. I'd love to see JP Sachs again. I think he's such a phenomenal songwriter, and it's really cool to see that. Um but yeah, I saw him. He opened for Noah Khan.
Hmm.
And yeah, so it was just this random, like, I had known of him a little bit. Um but it was just him and his piano, and that was
Oh,
it,
I
and it
love
was
that.
so cool.
I
Yeah,
love it when
he
musicians do
is such
that.
a phenomenal piece. Oh yeah, his piano skills are probably at the exact same level as everything else that he does, because he is
Oh,
just, yeah. So I've
love
always
to hear
liked
it.
his writing.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
There were like other musicians that I've seen. I haven't seen JP Sachs, but now I want to. But there were other musicians
Hmm.
that like were kind of in that Noah Kahan sphere, like Ben Howard. I'd say. Have you heard of Ben Howard or
Oh
no Ben
yeah.
Howard?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have
He's
you seen
great.
him?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you seen him live at all?
I haven't seen him. I've seen Bon Iver though,
Bon Iver.
which
Oh
is
my
kind of
gosh.
similar.
Yeah, but that's also what a rare treat. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. To be honest, I thought I was on some kind of a trip, like
Same.
listening to him,
Same.
because yeah, it was this weird, like, I was completely sober in all the ways, just sitting there listening, and it was this beautiful light show and everything. And then it ended, and I'm like, that was 3 hours? Like, I feel like it just started. Like, it didn't stop. Like, it was just
Wow.
music the whole time. And it was so atmospheric and beautiful. And yeah,
Did you see him
it was
on tour
insane.
or
It
did
was
you see
so
him at a
cool.
festival?
I saw him on tour. He was at the Forum.
Wow. I don't.
So yeah,
When was
yeah.
that? When was he on tour? Because he's like been on one tour, maybe two.
That's a good question. I saw him. This was probably 2019 also.
Wait,
I saw a
really? It's
lot of
been that
shows
reason?
during that time. I think so. Like because it was the Bon
Huh.
Iver Collective. I don't know if it was full on like on a tour as much as it was he just did a show at the Forum. And I
Right.
think it was maybe it was the Bon Iver Collective specifically. Like I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it was like definitely 2019.
Okay.
Definitely 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because
really
I
cool.
saw him with somebody I would have only seen him with in 2019.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I saw him in 2017, and he was playing at the Sasquatch Festival up in Washington before it like stopped. It's
Oh,
over
cool.
at like
Yeah.
do you know where I'm talking about? It's like, oh gosh, I can't remember. It's called the Gorge.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds familiar.
I honestly think it competes with Red Rocks and how beautiful it is. I honestly do. Yeah.
Dang.
But I also haven't
That's
been to Red Rocks yet, so I can't say anything. So
like, I don't know.
I don't know. So yeah, I haven't had anybody that has I haven't met anybody that's been to both that has told me which one is better, but I kind of need to figure that out soon. But yeah, so I saw him there, and that was so cool because also same, I felt like I was on a trip, but I was laying down in the grass by myself, and I just like looked at the stars while listening to him. Because I was just I usually watch people, but I just felt like I needed to lay down because it was just such an intense sensory experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
really,
really cool. Yeah, and it was fun to watch. I don't know, it was really cool to watch the stars and listen to it, and very, very memorable set. So yeah. What a treat. You got to see them live. Wow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so cool. It was so cool.
Yeah.
It was yeah. There's a couple people that I'm like, wow, I would totally go through this entire experience again just because of how cool it was. Like just because there's some people where it's like, you know, you listen to their music and you think that's great, but you don't really need to go anywhere past that. But other people, I feel like shows are really valuable when it's this shared experience and atmosphere that you're really cultivating, and to see that played out is really, really special.
So who else would you say like fits in that scope for you?
John Bellion. I would say John Bellion. I saw him twice, and I would see him definitely at least, 2 more times, if not more. Because, and I think what was cool about his stuff is he was very good at kind of redefining his songs. I think there's this huge push in the music industry to have the songs sound exactly like the track. But I'm like, I also feel like when you do that, then why wouldn't they just, blast it on their speakers and call it a day? Like, why does it have to be exactly like the track? Why can't it be its own separate, beautiful experience? And so John Bellion does that. And I think it's so cool. And so like everything is just slightly rearranged. And a lot of his music he does himself, and you can just tell how much he absolutely adores it. And it's cool. So I saw him for The Human Condition when he toured for that, and then I saw him for Glory Sound Prep, and yeah, both were just stellar. He was just such a good performer. And he had one where there's his song Maybe I Don't Know, and for the chorus, because it's like this build a little bit, and I guess technically that part's the chorus and then it's a post-chorus, but whatever that last part is, he just took this massive drum and just started playing this drum, and all the lights just went to him, and then it was just the track in the background and him just like hitting this drum. And it sounds crazy, but it was so beautiful. Like just to have him like in these different areas, like doing the different aspects of the song, like bringing in something new, because there's no drum part in that song, but he's like, I hear this, and so I'm going to do this way so that it sounds a little bit different. And I just think that's really cool. So
I love it when musicians do that.
Definitely him. Yeah, I'd love to see Noah Khan again, but I feel like he's expensive.
Yeah.
So I am happy that I listened to him when his tickets were like $50, and so I would love to see, because Stick Season has been, I think it's his best album for sure, and I'm excited to see what he comes up with and how he just continues the trajectory that he's on, because I feel like there's certain people now that I'm seeing break through that I'm like, okay, finally we're in places that are really deserving. Like you have like Noah Khan, I think Sabrina Carpenter's the same way. And Chappell Roan, like you have all these people that are like, wow, you really have stage presence. You're not just a plant. Like, you're somebody who genuinely loves what they do, cares about what they do, and are creating an entire experience in a world really around what you're doing. And I think that's, yeah. So I'm excited for all of that. And I would definitely I would love to see all of them live at some point again. Or
Sabrina's really good live. Chapel Roan is really good live. I've seen Sabrina.
Yeah, she is.
I've seen Sabrina twice. Yes, twice.
Oh, heck yeah.
Twice. And then I saw Chapel at Outside Lands during that set where she was like, VIP, you suck. It's so weird that VIP thinks they're too cool to do this. Yeah, I saw that. That was fun. I was in the barricade for that, and I'm gonna brag about that forever.
Oh, you should. She just is the type of person that I'm so glad she did not have any training, like any social media training or like media training at all. I think that is exactly what needed to happen for her kind of world that she's building, and it fits. She's not an asshole, but she can be when she needs to be, so it makes sense. But also, like, she just is who she is, and I think that's so rare now, and so to have that is really cool. But I did see Sabrina, and she's amazing live. I was not surprised. I was like, I'm not fangirling, but I'm 100% fangirling. Like, you're amazing.
Yeah, I don't usually listen to music quite as, like, happy, I'd say, like, sounding as Sabrina Carpenter. And I was just, like, super amazed by, like, she's clearly had some movement training or something like that. Like, every movement that she made was just so practiced and rehearsed, but, like, not stiff. It felt, like, so natural. It was really cool. Yeah. And then, I mean, of course, her vocals were perfect. It didn't matter what environment she was in. She sounded perfect. So that's talent right there.
Anyone who says she can't sing is clearly in the wrong. Like, there's just objectively wrong. There's you cannot prefer her tone, and that's one thing. But to say that she's not a good singer is just objectively incorrect.
They're just jealous.
You can't say that.
They're jealous. They're just jealous,
honestly. Oh my goodness.
They wish they were her.
Oh yeah, I wish I was.
Yeah. Who doesn't? Come on. Oh my goodness. Hi Alex, welcome in. Yeah, I don't know. I could talk about, like, all those really, I don't know, women in music lately this year, the last couple of years, they're really taking over. It's so cool.
Yeah, I love it. Let's get more of it. You know?
We need more of that energy. Cool.
More estrogen, please.
Thank you. More estrogen. We need more estrogen. But yeah, I did pin your latest song, It's your latest song, correct? Bad Days. Yeah, I pinned that in the chat. So I know that we are both feeling like, I don't know, are you feeling up for singing today, or are you not? It's up to you. We could just listen to it.
I could.
Okay.
I could play it. I think I could play it.
Okay. Yeah,
It's not a very hard song.
Okay.
I got my guitar.
Heck yeah.
It's very out of tune.
It's okay.
Tuner, but
well, I'll improvise really quick.
Let's go.
I'll catch up on the chat.
Let's go. Actually, wait. We might not.
Thanks for the follow, Calvert.
We are actually in tune.
Oh, we're in tune. Did you just have the capo on?
Let's go.
Did I see a capo?
No, I just heard it and I was like, incorrect. There is one right here. I just had a little tuner.
Oh, I thought that was a capo. Cool.
What did I say? Wait, Nico, what did I say? I've been saying things that I don't mean.
More estrogen.
It's been
we need more estrogen.
We do.
Yeah.
Oh, we need more what? Oh, that's what it was.
Okay. Cool.
Does it sound okay?
Do you have your... You might have the sound... The noise suppression. Gosh, I couldn't think of the words.
Maybe. I don't think so, because I don't even have a noise suppression. I think it's just going through Ableton.
Because it's just it's not going through Ableton on my end. I'm just hearing the sound, but I could pull up your stream and, like, we could hack something
Double
together.
Check. Let me see. Let me try. This might make me a little quieter, but
Helena, the audio engineer. I wish. I'm trying.
Yeah. If I bring my stuff up, maybe that'll help.
Yeah, that's better.
Because it's just through the same.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay, cool.
Cool. All right. Well.
Yep. Sweet.
Whenever you're ready, I'm gonna switch to just
Let's
you,
go.
and we'll get going.
Let's go. All right.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. This song's called Bad Days. That's it. I know it's easy to get way down to question everything. Believe me, you're not alone, not alone. Things will come around, they'll come around. Everybody has their bad days. Things will come around, they'll come around. You won't be defined by your bad days. I know the feeling when the soles of your shoes are wearing way too thin. It's to fade in when you can't find home, can't find home. Things come around, they'll come around. Everybody has their bad days. Things will come around, they'll come around. You won't be defined by your bad days. Don't have to hide from yesterday. Triggered by the memories or your mistakes. The truth will settle in eventually. You won't be defined by your bad days. Your bad days, oh. I won't leave you. Rain or shine, there's no goodbye. I don't care what they do, I mean it. When the lines get drawn, we can sing this song. Things will come around, they'll come around. Everybody hides their bad days. Things will come around, they'll come around. You won't be defined by your bad days. Don't have to hide from yesterday. Triggered by the memories, all your mistakes. The truth will settle in eventually. You won't be defined by your bad days. Bad days. Your bad days. There you go.
Sounds so good.
I'm really bad at ending songs. Thank you. I'm just like, that's it. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. That's it. That's all I got.
I don't know. That would add. I think that would add to the experience if you just like ended each song and had it in the production. You're like, okay, that's it. Bye.
Okay, bye. That's it. Okay, I'm going out. Sayonara.
Yeah, just yell. End of song.
Song done.
That's a wrap.
And that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap.
Done.
Over. You get no more. Once a
of
DJ
a
said,
cow mooing? Oh my god, that's amazing. That's so good. That's so good.
What an example to lead by.
Oh yeah, I would do that.
Ooh, I want to see it. Alex just attached.
I know. I want to see this too. I'm just trying to.
I think he was mooing in the mic.
I mean, you've also got, what is it? Doja Cat? Isn't her song just Moo? Isn't that it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. I forgot about that.
I'm a cow. I'm a cow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's crazy.
Go moo.
I love the Doja Cat song. Same.
It's so good. It's so good. I feel like I relate to it, you know? It's just on a deep level.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I am a cow.
I love that. Well, I know we were talking a little bit about like writing and lyrics and just like really pulling apart the meaning behind the lyrics, and now I kind of want to do the same, but I also want to hear what your perspective is. Like what drew, like what's the story behind the song?
Yeah, so this song actually started as a pitch. So it was for like a medical TV series. And they basically wanted, they're like, how do we have a song that's like kind of deep and introspective, but also not like doomsday? And so like they wanted something particularly calm and like uplifting, but also like they had this kind of contradiction in it. And we were talking through different ideas, and one of the things that really popped up was just the idea of at least Bad Days, where it was this almost this uplifting, you don't have to be defined by that. Like that's not something that you have to live. And thinking through different scenarios of like, okay, what type of shows would really showcase that kind of thing, you know? And areas where like you have a character that has made a really bad mistake and this is them kind of on their redemption arc or whatever it is. Funny talking about anti-heroes. I feel like it kind of relates to that, but
right.
Yeah, so it really just became this anthem that we ended up writing that was just this, you know, the worst day in your life, whatever you're experiencing, whether that be something that you've caused or that has happened to you, that it doesn't have to be the thing that really defines you. And so that's really what started off the song, was that idea of knowing that that's something you see all the time with redemption arcs and things like that in shows, but also I think it's such a common thing because that's everyone's experience. You know, you have, like, I think, for example, of, like we were talking about religious things, like I was just talking and doing this whole research on Peter versus Judas and how both of them betrayed Jesus, but one made the decision to actually correct and not be defined by that decision and that choice. And because of that, their stories and how people recognize them are so different. And so to have this perspective of just, you don't have to have just this one experience that then gets to define the rest of your life. Like it doesn't have to be the thing that takes you out. And so, yeah, so I think that's really where that song came to be, was more a reminder for people. And that doesn't mean, you know, do all these horrible things knowing that you're not defined by it, because I think your actions do make you more of whatever you're becoming. And so you can become better or worse with every decision that you make. But I do think that just because you've made a horrible decision or you've had somebody commit something horrible against you, you don't have to let that be the thing that defines the rest of your life. So that's pretty much, yeah, that's the story behind that.
That's a really, really cool message, because yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know. I think when most people go through an experience, like you can kind of make like a choice to an extent. Like, I'm going to be butchering this, so like trying to come up with something because you just said it so beautifully. I want to add some commentary. But yeah. But yeah, like a lot of people go through traumatic experiences through their life, and then there's kind of that point where you can choose to let it define you or not. And then like that song, I feel like could be like a really therapeutic experience for people, to encourage people to not let it define them, like you were saying. So yeah,
exactly. Like it doesn't have to be that, you know. You don't. And I think what people forget is that we have so much more power over what we do with our lives than we realize.
Right.
And so there's this idea too, like I've been really playing with this idea of, because I've heard stories where, like you have these horrible things happen to people and then they in turn do horrible things.
Yeah.
And they kind of justify it by, but all this stuff happened to me, and so therefore I have the right to then do all these things. And I think it's really landed on, things that happen in your life, things that happen to you more times than not are not your fault, but it's your responsibility to figure out what you do with them. And so you still have responsibility to be a good human, and to push towards what is good and beautiful. You have that responsibility regardless of whatever cards you were dealt. But, you don't have to let those bad cards that you were dealt choose how you then live. Like those don't get to justify your actions, but they also don't get to be the thing that really defines the rest of your life. So yeah, I've been like playing with that idea a lot, but I feel like it felt really fitting with the context of writing this song, to include that specific theme in there.
Yeah, no, it's a really powerful message, and I think a lot of people could relate to that, especially since like we keep going back to antihero and the antihero concept. Like people do relate with the antihero a lot more than we would admit, So
yeah,
for sure. Like I mean, maybe it's more
You
openly admittable now. Like more people are like, yes, I like Loki, even though he did what he did, But at the same time, I don't know, just like helps you encourage to like encourage you that you don't have to let your choices define you, or the bad things that happen to you to define you. Apologies, words.
Yeah, but still that, like the choices you made in the past, of course there's going to be consequences. Like that's just a fact of life. But the choices you make now don't have to be determined necessarily by the decisions you made in the past. Like you can choose to have a better life. You can do that. That's still every day an option for you. But you have to be the one to accept that and to take that on. But you also don't need to be weighed down in the same way by the past.
Yeah. So, and I mean, either way you go, it's hard. Either way you go, it's a hard journey. I feel like we could get into a whole topic there, honestly, just because like journeying through like overcoming trauma and things that you go through. And then again, like you were saying, not choosing not to let that define you is such a hard road to go on. It's almost, I don't know which one will be easier, but like society at least makes you think that one of them is easier or that there's no choice, right? Am I generalizing that too much? I'm also trying to like figure out a good way that we can segue that into a conversation.
No, I think that I think that makes sense. Yeah, sorry, I'm also like congested, so little sniffles are gonna happen.
What in the potato camera is happening to the right side of the screen? Oh no! Can you guys not see me?
I think you might be a little pixelated.
Let me see what I could do here.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just on my end though.
It could be on my end.
Could be
a little. Oh no. No, we can, but it's a little blurry. It's not a big deal. Yeah, that's okay, but there might be something I could do about it. So let me see what I could do. Because I'm pretty sure there's like a... Hey, Steven, thanks for the follow. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks a lot better on your end than on my end.
Yeah, but that might be... I'm always thinking that there's something I can do about it. That's the troubleshooter in me. I don't see anything that I could do at the moment, but I also... Wait, it might be in settings.
Maybe if I refresh? I don't know if refreshing is going to make a problem.
Oh, yeah, it might. I see you both on Glass Factory. Yeah, so it's clear on my end, but not on yours. So I'm wondering whose internet it is. It's probably mine. Oh, you're not disrupting stream, Lord. You're totally fine. I'm just also wanting to make everything perfect. So that's just who I am. Perfectionist here.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Okay, we don't touch it.
I'm not touching it.
All right, I'm not touching anything.
It should be fine.
We'll figure it out. I mean, I could explain it, but this is no tech stream. Oh, it's okay. Feel free to send me a ping if you want to do that. But yeah, anyway, so we were talking about not letting our choices or the bad things that happen to us define us and our choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot we could go into there, but I also do want to play Repo. So we should play Repo.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
We should. That would be fun. I'm a little scared, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. It's a very fun game. I've been testing it out
Yeah.
the last few days, and by testing it
Let's
out,
go.
I'm just saying it. I'm saying I'm testing it out, but I've really just been playing it for fun.
You know, that's when this is your job, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Yeah, you could go into
we could do deep conversations. Well, yep. That feels like the right call.
Yeah.
That feels like the right call to make.
And then if you guys have any questions for Helena, please not me. I keep thinking Helena's me. Anyways.
Helena, I mean,
if you got questions for
thing.
Helena, here, our guest. Please drop them in the chat.
It's the emotes for me, like the oh my gosh.
The what?
This little the characters, like just the smiley face that looks like it wants to kill me.
Yeah.
It's just terrifying.
Yeah, it is terrifying.
It's so terrifying. But okay, let me make sure.
Oh, we should add each other on Steam though, right?
Oh yeah, that probably needs to happen. Yeah, that's true.
I need to add that to my checklist.
There we go. Okay. This is gonna be a vibe. Okay, a vibe and a half.
Cool.
Let me. I think it's just. Hold on.
Okay, so in the Discord that we're in, it's a private chat. I shared you my Steam friend code.
Great.
Yeah. Helena is a pro gamer. Just fair warning. Oh, perfect. I love this.
Pro gamer.
We love pro gamers.
Why is this being done? Here, let me do this. I could do this on my end too. Oh, because I think it's just having me sign in. That's weird. I sent you my stream code though, so
okay.
That might. Yeah, because it's having me sign in again.
Let's do that.
I don't know why. Okay, cool. Oh.
Got you.
Did it just run over something?
Yes.
Oh, let's go. Thank you. Yes, it did. Yes. The answer is yes.
Perfect. There's an anti-lurking button.
Oh my gosh. Oh, what's up? Hi. Thanks for the sub. Oh, the audio went way down? I could fix that.
Ooh, YouTube, I might have to say goodbye. If you guys want to hop in, we are live on Glass Factory. I'm going to send the link.
There we go.
So, everybody say goodbye to YouTube. Bye, YouTube. We're going to end stream on YouTube because my camera is really failing. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.